The dropping of the atomic bomb in 1945 made science fiction respectable. Once the horror at Hiroshima took place, anyone could see that science fiction writers were not merely dreamers and crackpots after all, and that many of the motifs of that class of literature were now permanently part of the newspaper headlines. I suppose that science fiction writers and readers were, on the whole, pleased, if not at the effect of the atom bomb itself, then at least at the crystallization into fact of something that had been so science-fictional. I myself was ambivalent, quite apart from the frightening aspects of nuclear explosions and the mildly irrational feeling that such things as atom bombs belonged to us and not to the real world. I also felt that reality might have a stultifying effect on the field. And I think it did, to a certain extent. There was a tendency for the new reality to nail the science fiction writer to the ground. Prior to 1945, science fiction had been wild and free. All its motifs and plot varieties remained in the realm of fantasy, and we could do as we pleased. After 1945, there came the increasing need to talk about the AEC, and to mold all the infinite scope of our thoughts to the small bit of them that had become real. In fact, there was the birth of something I called tomorrow fiction, the science fiction story that was no more new than tomorrow's headlines. Believe me, there can be nothing duller than tomorrow's headlines in science fiction. As an example, consider Neville Shute's On the Beach. Surely to the science fiction fan, as opposed to the general public, this must seem very milk and watery. So there's a nuclear war to start the story with. And what else is new? I resisted the temptation to base a story slavishly on the present until I could think of a way to do so without making myself a minion of the headlines and of topicality. I wanted to write a story that would deal with the things of tomorrow without becoming outdated the day after tomorrow. The result was, Breeds There a Man?, which, despite all its topicality, is as much science fiction now as it was in 1951 when it was written. First appearance, Astounding Science Fiction, June 1951.